I was born in a small village where honesty was the only wealth my family had. My father was a farmer, and my mother took care of the house. We were poor, but we never stole, never cheated, and never lied. My father always told me, "Son, no matter how hard life gets, never let go of honesty. It is the only thing that truly belongs to you." I grew up holding on to those words. I studied under the old banyan tree because we could not afford a lamp at night. I helped my father in the fields and never complained about our empty plates. My dream was simple, to earn enough so that my parents could sleep without worrying about the next meal. When I turned 20, I moved to the city to find work. It was overwhelming. So many people, so much noise, and everyone seemed to be running after money. I found a job as a clerk in a small office. The pay was low, but I was happy. I worked hard, never took a bribe, and never cheated anyone. But honesty, I soon learned, was not something everyone valued. One day my boss called me into his office. He was a rich man with a heavy gold chain around his neck. He smiled at me and said, "You are a good worker, but you must learn how to survive. Sometimes you have to bend the rules a little. Here, take this." He slid an envelope across the table. I opened it and saw more money than I had ever held in my hands. "Just change a few numbers in the account," he said. My hands trembled. My mind screamed at me to refuse. I pushed the envelope back and said, "Sir, I cannot do this. It is wrong." He laughed. "You are a fool. People like you will never succeed." And he was right. The next day, I lost my job. I walked the streets looking for work. No one wanted an honest man. "We need people we can trust," they said. But what they really meant was, "We need people who will lie for us." Days turned into weeks, and my pockets were empty. I slept on the roadside, wondering if my honesty was a curse. Then one evening, as I sat under a bridge, an old man came and sat beside me. He looked at my torn clothes and tired eyes and asked, "Why are you here, son?" I told him my story, expecting him to laugh at my foolishness, but he didn't. He sighed and said, "Honesty is a rare gem, but the world does not always appreciate it. Still, never lose it." He handed me a piece of bread and walked away. That night, I made a promise to myself. I would never change. No matter how hard life became, I would remain honest. The next morning, I found work as a helper at a small bookstore. The owner was an old man who loved books more than money. He paid me little, but at least I had food to eat. I worked there for years, and slowly life became stable. People in the neighborhood knew me as the honest man, the one who never kept extra change and never spoke lies. But fate is cruel. One night, a fire broke out in the bookstore. We tried to save the books, but everything turned to ash. The old man, my employer, collapsed from the shock and never woke up. I lost my job, my shelter, and the only person who had believed in me. I wandered the streets again, hungry and hopeless. One day I saw a group of men standing near a shop. They were hiring workers for a factory. Desperate, I joined them. The work was hard, the pay was little, but I survived. Months passed, and I saved every penny I could. I dreamed of going back to my village, of seeing my parents again. But just when I thought life was getting better, fate struck me down again. One evening, as I walked home from work, a man ran past me dropping a bag. A moment later, I heard shouts, "Thief! Thief!" Before I could react, the police grabbed me. The real thief had vanished, and I was left holding the bag. No one listened to my pleas. "An honest man," they mocked. "That's what all thieves say." I was thrown into a cell. The walls were cold, and the darkness felt endless. I thought of my father's words, "Honesty is the only thing that truly belongs to you." But in that moment I wondered, what had my honesty given me? Hunger, suffering, and now disgrace. Days later, an old judge visited my cell. He looked at me for a long time and then asked, "Do you still believe in honesty?" I looked down. My voice was weak. "I don't know anymore." He sighed. "The world is unfair, but we need people like you." After investigating, they found the real thief and let me go. But the damage was done. No one wanted to hire a man who had been in jail, even if he was innocent. Tired and broken, I returned to my village. My parents welcomed me with open arms, but I could see the pain in their eyes. They had hoped I would return as a successful man, but all I brought back were scars. I started working on the farm again, living the same simple life. People whispered behind my back, calling me the honest fool. And perhaps they were right. Years passed, and one day a stranger arrived in our village. He was a rich man, well-dressed and powerful. He searched for me, and when he found me, smiled and said, "You may not remember me, but years ago, you returned extra change to me at the bookstore." That honesty stayed with me. I built my business on the same values. Now I want to help you. He offered me a job, a good one, with respect and fair pay. For the first time, I saw that honesty, though painful, had not been in vain. Life did not suddenly become easy, but I learned that honesty is not about reward. It is about knowing that when you look in the mirror, you see a man who did not betray himself. And that, I realized, was enough.